Welcome to Money is Freedom, a podcast exploring how finance and freedom connect in our lives. Created from thoughtful research and narrated by Notebook LM AI, this series brings you clear, meaningful insights into finance and beyond. Episode 33 discussed CB Insight's Venture Trends 2024 report, highlighting the overwhelming dominance of artificial intelligence, AI, across the tech landscape.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for another deep dive. You wanted to know where tech is going as we head into 2025, and well, you gave us a pretty big stack of articles to go through.
Yeah, a lot to get through.
But you know what? One thing is super clear. AI. It's everywhere.
It really is. It's not just a trend anymore. It feels like AI is completely changing the game.
Totally. And you know what's really interesting? All this money big tech is pouring into AI. Like Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Meta, they're all on a huge AI spending spree.
Yeah, the CB Insights report we have here, it really shows that they're going all in.
So is this just like a fear of missing out thing?
Yeah.
Or is there something bigger happening here?
I think it's way more strategic than that. You know, these companies are data companies, right? That's their bread and butter.
Yeah, their whole foundation.
Exactly. And AI is all about using data in new and powerful ways. So for them, it's not just a fad. It's a core part of their strategy for the future.
Okay. So they're not just throwing money at the problem. They're placing some pretty serious bets on where AI is going. And the report actually shows that their spending has gone from $20 billion a quarter in 2020 to over $60 billion in 2024.
That's massive.
It's huge. Yeah. So where is all that money going? What are they actually spending it on?
Well, a lot of it is going into infrastructure.
Yeah.
The nuts and bolts of AI development, things like GPUs, data centers.
The building blocks.
Exactly. And then there's talent. They're hiring like crazy, trying to snag all the best AI researchers and engineers.
And let's not forget acquisitions, right? I mean, they're buying up these promising AI startups left and right.
Yeah, they're scooping them up.
Yeah.
So you've got this perfect storm of building, buying, and hiring all at the same time.
And it's all happening so fast.
Yeah.
So what does this tell us about the future that they see? Is it all sunshine and roses with AI, or are there some potential downsides to all this investment?
Well, I think it definitely shows they believe AI is going to be everywhere, woven into every part of our lives.
We can't escape it.
Right. But it does raise questions too, about potential monopolies and too much power in the hands of just a few companies.
That's definitely something to keep an eye on for sure. And speaking of things changing, remember when fintech was the hot new thing? Everyone was talking about disrupting the financial world?
Yeah, fintech was the golden child.
But then things shifted. And the data we have here paints a very different picture now.
Yeah, if you look at the numbers those median M&A exit prices, fintech is way down there.
At the bottom of the barrel.
Compared to AI and cybersecurity, acquisitions are happening, but at much lower valuations.
So what does that tell us?
It tells us that investors aren't as confident about fintech's future as they used to be.
Yeah, the numbers really show that fintech is lagging behind with just $1.1 million per employee compared to AI at $1.9 million, or cybersecurity at $2.3 million.
It's a big difference. So the question is, what's causing this shift? Is it just a natural correction, or is AI actually playing a role in fintech's decline? It's probably a bit of both. Honestly, I think the initial excitement around fintech has cooled down. And maybe the market is getting a bit crowded, but AI is definitely shaking things up. It's changing how financial services work, and some fintech companies are having trouble keeping up.
So it's not enough to just be tech anymore. You got to be AI-powered tech if you want to get investors excited. Which brings us to another interesting trend, the rise of the AI unicorn.
Ah, yes, the unicorns.
These AI startups are suddenly snagging a huge chunk of those billion-dollar valuations.
It's pretty remarkable. If you look back to 2015, only about 6% of new unicorns were AI-driven.
And now?
Now it's a whopping 44%. That's a huge jump.
So investors are clearly seeing something special in AI startups. They're putting their money where their mouth is. So AI is changing the game for big companies and startups. But it's not just a tech world phenomenon, right? We're seeing it impact all kinds of industries, like healthcare.
Absolutely. One of the biggest examples is the pharmaceutical industry. Big players like Johnson & Johnson, Roche, Pfizer, they're all teaming up with AI specialists.
And what are they doing?
They're trying to revolutionize drug discovery and development. It's pretty amazing.
That's huge. We're talking about potentially life-saving innovations. So how exactly is AI being used in drug discovery? And what does this mean for the future of healthcare?
Well, AI is really good at analyzing huge data sets, right? Like mountains of data.
Way more than a human could ever handle.
Exactly. So they're using AI to sift through all this genetic information, clinical trial results, scientific literature, you name it.
Looking for patterns.
Exactly. AI can find patterns and make predictions that would be impossible for humans to do on their own.
And that could lead to
Faster development of new drugs and treatments. Maybe even cures for diseases that have been around for centuries.
It's mind-blowing when you think about the possibilities.
Right.
But with all this investment in AI, you have to wonder, is there enough money to go around? Are investors just throwing money at anything with AI in the name?
Well, let's look at venture capital. AI is getting a huge chunk of the funding pie right now.
How huge?
It's gone from just 5% of venture funding in 2015 to a massive 37% today. That's more than any other sector.
Wow. So it's not just big tech. It's the whole venture capital world that's betting big on AI. What are some of the biggest investments we've seen lately?
Well, some of the biggest funding rounds of 2024 went to AI companies. Databricks raised a whopping $10 billion. OpenAI got $6.6 billion, and Anthropic wasn't far behind with $4 billion.
That's a lot of money.
It is. Even in the world of venture capital, those are some serious numbers.
It makes you wonder, are we heading for an AI bubble? Or is all this investment actually justified by the potential of the technology?
That's the million-dollar question, right? There's always a risk of getting carried away with any new technology.
The hype machine can get out of control.
Exactly. But I think AI is different. It's not just a product or a service. It's more like a fundamental platform that can be applied to so many different industries and problems.
So it's not just about building the next cool app or gadget. It's about creating tools that can change how we work live and interact with the world.
Exactly. And that's a powerful idea. And speaking of changing things, let's talk about IPOs. The path to going public has changed quite a bit in the last few years. It definitely has. The average time from a company's first funding round to their IPO has gotten a lot longer.
How much longer?
It's gone from an average of 5 years in 2015 to 7.5 years today.
So startups are waiting longer to go public.
They are. They're choosing to stay private longer and focus on building a really solid foundation before they jump into the public markets.
It seems like those days of super fast growth and quick exits are kind of fading away.
Yeah, investors are looking for more than just hype now. They want to see sustainable businesses with long-term potential.
So it's a sign of a more mature tech industry.
I think so. Investors are less interested in short-term gains and more focused on the long game. But there's another interesting battle happening in the AI world right now.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
It's not just about AI existing. It's about how it's developed and who has access to it. We're seeing this growing tension between open and closed AI.
Okay, so what do we mean by open and closed when we're talking about AI? And why is this distinction so important?
Well, OpenAI is all about making the technology and its underlying code accessible to everyone. It's kind of like open source software where developers can collaborate, share ideas, build upon each other's work.
Kind of like a community effort.
Exactly. And champions of OpenAI, like Meta, NVIDIA, Hugging Face, they believe this approach will lead to more innovation and give more people access to these powerful tools.
So it's about democratizing AI. Making it available to everyone, not just a select few.
That's the idea. But then on the other side, you have closed AI.
And what's that all about?
Closed AI is typically developed by big corporations with lots of resources. Companies like OpenAI, Microsoft, Google.
The big players.
Exactly. They invest heavily in research and development, and they often make really groundbreaking advancements, but they keep their code and algorithms proprietary.
So they control access.
Right. And they often monetize their innovations.
So it's a trade-off then between accessibility and control.
Yeah.
OpenAI is all about collaboration and transparency, while closed AI offers potentially faster advancements, but with less transparency and maybe some limits on who can use it. And the data shows that these closed-source AI companies have raised a ton of money, like $37.5 billion since 2020.
That's right. And this tension between open and closed AI is really at the heart of a much bigger debate about the future of technology. Who's going to control the most powerful tools of the 21st century? Will it be a handful of corporations or a global community of developers and researchers?
It's a question with huge implications, not just for the tech industry, but for all of us. How will this battle between open and closed AI affect our lives? How will it shape the way we work, communicate, and interact with the world around us?
Yeah, it really makes you think about the future we're creating and what it means for all of us. Like, if AI is going to be everywhere, what skills do we need? What knowledge is going to be valuable in a world that's run by AI? That is the big question, isn't it? And it's not just about those technical skills, like coding or data science.
Right, those are important. But
yeah, those are important, but there's a whole set of human skills that are going to be even more important in this age of AI.
So you're saying we're not all going to be replaced by robots? There's still hope for us humans?
Oh, absolutely. There's definitely still hope for us humans. Think about the things that AI still struggles with. Creativity, critical thinking, really complex problem-solving, emotional intelligence.
But those are the things that set us apart as humans.
Exactly. Those are the skills that are going to allow us to thrive in an AI-powered world.
So it's not just about learning to code. It's about learning to think critically, to be adaptable, to be able to solve problems, and to connect with other people.
It's about being more human, not less. And there's one more really crucial skill that we can't forget about: the ability to keep learning and adapting.
Because things are changing so fast.
Exactly. The pace of change is only going to get faster, so we need to become lifelong learners, always updating our skills and knowledge.
It's like we're all back in school again. But this time the curriculum is always changing. It's like a never-ending pop quiz.
Exactly. So where do we even begin? How do we prepare ourselves and future generations for this world?
Yeah, where do we start?
Well, it starts with education. We need to make sure that students are getting those foundational skills that they'll need to navigate this world. Critical thinking, problem-solving, creativity, adaptability.
Those 21st century skills everyone keeps talking about.
Exactly. And it's not just about formal education either. We need to create a culture of lifelong learning, where people are encouraged to explore new ideas, experiment with the new technologies, and constantly push themselves to learn new things.
And be curious to stay adaptable.
Exactly. And we need to be aware of the potential risks and challenges that come with any powerful technology.
Which brings us back to that question we were talking about earlier. Is this rapid development of AI something to be excited about or scared of? Is it going to lead to a utopia or a dystopia?
It's not a simple answer. It's not one or the other. AI has the potential to solve some of our biggest problems, like curing diseases or addressing climate change.
Really big challenges.
Exactly. But there are definitely real risks, too, especially if AI isn't developed and used responsibly.
So it's not about being pro-AI or anti-AI.
Right.
It's about making sure that AI is used for good, for the benefit of everyone.
It's about being pro-humanity and making sure that AI is used to make the world a better place for all of us. And that's why it's so important to have these conversations about the ethics of AI, the potential risks and benefits, and the kind of future we want to create.
Exactly. This deep dive is just a starting point, a glimpse into this really complex and constantly changing world of AI. But hopefully it's giving our listeners a foundation to build on a way to think about the opportunities and the challenges that are coming our way.
I think so. And remember, this is just based on what you asked us to look at. We encourage you to keep digging, keep asking questions, and keep learning.
There's always more to discover. Yeah, it's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
It really is. But ultimately, it comes down to us, right? Like, we get to decide how we want to use this technology.
Absolutely. We have the power to shape the future of AI. And that's both exciting and a little bit daunting.
Definitely. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you really want our listeners to take away from all of this?
I think the most important takeaway is that AI is not just a trend. It's a fundamental shift that's going to reshape the world as we know it. And understanding AI is going to be essential for anyone who wants to navigate the future successfully.
It's like AI literacy is the new essential skill, right? Like, everyone needs to have at least a basic understanding of how this technology works and what it means for them.
Exactly. And that's why conversations like this are so important. We need to keep talking about AI, keep exploring its potential, and keep asking tough questions about its impact on society.
Because the future of AI is ultimately up to us.
It is. We have the power to decide how we want to use this technology to shape the world we want to live in.
Well said. It's been an incredible journey exploring all of this with you. And to our listener, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI. We hope you found it insightful and thought-provoking.
We did too. And remember, this is just the beginning. Keep learning, keep exploring, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI.
Until next time, stay curious and keep those questions coming.